Welcome back to the Godzilla Torino racing channel. Doing something a little different. This is the part 2 of the Bosch 429 hood scoop install. This part here, I'm gonna just talk over this video because I'm sure everyone's tired of looking at me talking. You know what I look like. So what I'm doing here is grinding off. I'm prepping the bottom of the hood to be get some more reinforcement with fiberglass. You got two different types of fiberglass. You have a type A and a type B, and a type A is a finish coat which has a wax in the coat, and it doesn't need to be sanded. It's designed to go over the top coat basically. And what I've used is a type B that you need to sand it down before you add any more layers. So what I'm doing here now is just getting the glue off of the bottom of the hood from the original bracing. It was on there really thick and heavy, like that bracing was not going anywhere, so we really had to work at getting it off. So I'm just going at it. There was a lot of it. Now I'm just trimming the edges, because after I cut it with the cutoff wheel or the angle grinder, they were pretty sharp. And what we're going to do afterwards, or what we tried to use fuel line to go around the edge there, and it didn't really work out because the fuel line was too thick. So what I'm going to end up doing is using basically the door edge trim, you know, that you can get for your door, and you can buy it in different lengths and different finishes. I'm just going to go with a simple black finish to go around there, so that when you're lifting the hood, you don't inadvertently cut your hands. So this part is just I'm cutting pieces of fiberglass mat to go around the flange of the hood scoop, and then I'll be laminating it. So it's this whole process took probably, I'm saying, about 5 to 10 hours. I did not time it, but judging by the video, and this is not all of what I did. This is just like, you know, part of the process. I mean, this kind of encapsulates most of it, but I sped these videos up times 10 because I wanted you to be able to hear a little bit of the action going on. There's no way in hell that I'm moving this fast, but so if you just multiply the length of this video times 10, and then you add a couple hours, maybe 3 hours to it, that's probably how long it took to finish up this part of the installation. And that little windmill that I was doing with the can of resin, I learned that little trick when I was a kid watching David Letterman. He went on the air and he was demonstrating how to get ketchup from the bottom of the bottle to the output. And I just have been doing this forever with ketchup bottles, mustard bottles, every kind of bottle, and even resin cans. So basically I bought like a 1 pint of resin, or 16-ounce can of resin, which was probably not enough to do this little project. So what you see me here doing is like trying to use every last drop of resin, because what you want to do is you want to laminate the fiberglass mat similar to like paper mache. And if you don't get it thoroughly laminated, the fibers are not going to be hardened. So any sort of dry fiber in this process is not really helpful. So it worked out, but I think I could have used a little bit more resin, probably another at least another 8-ounce mix. So when you're doing fiberglass, you can get really technical. You can measure it down to the drops of resin versus catalyst, but I've been doing this for years, and I just kind of pretty much ballpark it. I don't, and when it's very hot, you want to use less catalyst, and when it's very cold, you want to use more, because it's basically a chemical process, and temperature does make a difference. So I got a little story. I was helping my buddy at FE Specialties. They were lowering the floor of a Cobra kit car because the driver was he was over 6 feet, and his head was sticking over the windshield. And his helper, I was doing the fiberglass work, and I was busy also at my shop. So Tom decided to have his helper kind of follow my lead, and he mixed in my absence, and he mixed up a batch of fiberglass, and it literally caught on fire because he put too much catalyst in there. So it is kind of critical that you don't overdo it, because if you do, the mixture can be, or the hardened fiberglass resin can be too brittle. If you don't mix it up hot enough, it'll be still tacky and sticky, and it won't harden completely. It eventually, so going not hot enough is not as bad as going too hot, because if you don't go hot enough, it will cure over time. But if you go too hot, it'll be brittle. It could also it could cause your project to warp. It could cause it to distort, and it could also catch on fire, as I've told you. So in this little stage here, I'm just putting basically kitty hair, which is it's a Bondo product that has fiberglass fibers in it. They call it kitty hair because it kind of looks like what a cat would cough up, in a hairball. But it makes the Bondo stronger, more it gives it more structure. Otherwise, your Bondo would be prone to cracking and whatever, and it wouldn't have the strength. So around the edge of the hood scoop is basically a small gap between the metal and the fiberglass, and that's what I'm using, is the kitty hair to fill that gap, and then I'm going to go in and sand it down so that it's nice and smooth. If I were a body man or a professional, I'd probably do a different process altogether, but this is good for like an amateur, for backyard type of deal. And the finished product, I think will agree that it came out pretty nice, but it's not perfect. And if you're looking for like a show quality hood scoop or something like that, you probably don't want to try and you don't want to emulate what I'm doing here, because I'm just a hack. Another thing I need to point out is a lot of this video, I'm doing something that probably you shouldn't do, and because I'm kind of a risk taker. I think I'm only wearing safety glasses in part of the video, maybe not at all. I don't know. So it's probably a good idea. It is a good idea to wear safety glasses, because when you're sanding and whatnot, you can get those fibers in your eyes and can do a lot of damage. So this is like basically the process that you use after you've done the filler. Just a bunch of sanding, a lot of sanding. And it looks kind of fun when you speed it up. It's like maybe I took and had too many cups of coffee, but it's a little tedious. But the proof is in the pudding, and if you do the little extra work, your project will look a lot nicer than if you just slap it together. And I'm pretty pleased with how it came out. It did take a bit of time, but it was not that expensive. I think we got about 200 bucks into the hood with including the hood, the scoop, the filler, and the paint. Everything included is probably about $200, and you could not purchase a fiberglass hood for a fraction of that, and you'd have to add shipping. And I kind of think doing this, it gives you a little bit of a sense of accomplishment versus doing just writing a check to some company who sends you off a fiberglass hood. And they do not make a fiberglass hood for the 72 GRAN Torino that is a Boss 429 hood scoop. The only ones I've seen are either, I don't even think they make a standard hood, they just make the original style hood scoop. And for my purposes, and for anybody who's building like a big motor with a high-rise intake and a big 4-barrel Holly or Demon or whatever, the stock height hood is just not enough. You're not gonna have the clearance for your carburetor or your air cleaner. And I mean, that was one of the major factors for picking the 429 hood scoop, because they come in like a 5-inch variety. I think you can get them even taller than that. And I really enjoyed, I mean, I like the look of it. It just looks like super aggressive. Okay, so here's my girlfriend Bobby, and I think it's lunch. I think it's lunch or dinner or whatever. Just time to quit. So, you know, as you can see, I'm no longer working on it. She had her way. I hope this was good, and this is how she came out. She's looking pretty good. This is with the self-etching primer, and it comes out like an olive green, and it's pretty nice. But so please subscribe to the video. Tell me if you like this, the way I did this narration or whatever. I need all the subscribers I can get. Like, a lot of people are watching these videos and they're not subscribing. I'm still working things out. I'm figuring things out. But the idea is I'm going to bring the best content I can, and I'm going to improve on the technical details. So thanks for watching, and let me know what I can do better. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you want to see. Who do you want me to race? What vehicle should the Godzilla Torino put a target sign on?